Greetings. This is Monday, so we'll be focusing on fundamentals as you practice. This means the exercise sheets and several keys. This means articulation exercises, 8 up, 8 down. And this also means your 6 scales scale sheet. So in honor of the 6 scales sheet today, we'll be talking about key signatures to make sure that as you're learning them or practicing them, that you are playing with the correct notes. All right, first off, a key signature is the sharps or flats marked at the beginning of a line of music to show you what notes are sharp and or flat. So here we have a treble clef at the beginning of a line, and we have a flat. There is no note next to it, which gives you a clue that that would be the key signature. So every good boy, being the B line, every time that you have a B, it's going to be B flat. Likewise, next to this bass clef, good boys do fine. This is the F line. It has a sharp on it. Every time that you play F in this piece of music, it's going to be F sharp. And remember that sharps raise the note by a little bit and flats lower the note by a little bit. They are completely different notes with completely different fingerings and slide positions from their natural notes, or not sharped, not flatted notes. So let's talk about our order of sharps and flats. First, the flats. The flats start at this end and go to the other end of these 7 letters. If you have one flat, like we do down here, it has to be B flat. If you have 2 flats, they have to be in order from left to right, B flat and E flat. And on the key signature, they go in that same order. So we have B flat, and I'll add my E flat. If I have 3 flats, it's going to be B flat, E flat, and A flat. So let's add our A flat. Now take note that you cannot have an A flat in a key signature without first having B flat and E flat. Likewise, you can't have an E flat in the key signature without first having B flat. Now, if we had 4 flats, it would have to be in order B flat, E flat, A flat, and D flat. That's B flat, E flat, A flat. Let's add our D flat. Now we could carry this through 7 flats, and it would just be B, E, A, D, G, C, F from left to right. But we're not going to see that the key signatures that require 7 flats yet, so we're just going to stop at 4 flats for today. Let's talk about the order of sharps. The sharps go from the right to the left. They're the exact opposite of the flats. If you have 1 sharp, it must be F sharp. Down here we have 1 sharp, and it is F sharp. By the way, if you are a treble clef person looking at this bass clef example, the sharps and flats go in the same order regardless of the clef. Likewise, if you're looking at this treble clef example and you're a bass clef person, it doesn't matter which clef it is, they go in the same exact order. So, 2 sharps going backwards would have to be F sharp and then C sharp. So let's add C sharp. All cows eat grass. 3 sharps would be F, C, and G in that order. All cows eat grass. 4 sharps would be F, C, G, and D. Good boys do fine always. If you would like to review pitch reading in treble or bass clef, feel free. We have lots of activities. As a matter of fact, one of the first lessons of distance learning towards the bottom of the page for your grade level is going to be on reading pitch. So feel free to review that. Also note that if you're wondering what note the flat is describing, it's whatever is in the middle of the rounded section. If you're wondering what note the sharp is describing, it's in the very middle of the box. Great. So there is a worksheet at the bottom of the page. I believe it's labeled Identifying Sharps and Flats or something to that effect. On this sheet, it has a very handy reprinting of the order of sharps and flats, as you see right there on the fridge. Now, look at 1 flat. Has to be B flat. That's the first one in the order. 2 flats. B flat and E flat, and I've given you those just to get you going, B flat and E flat. Then we have three flats, B flat, blank, blank. Well, of course, the second blank is going to be E flat. You know that from above. So now you have to go, well, what is the third flat? B flat, E flat. Ta-da! Now you can carry this all the way through 7 flats. Let's look at the sharp side. Here we have 1 sharp. Sharp side, starting at the end, coming back, that's F sharp. Done. Next one we have F sharp, C sharp, just like we see here, just like we see on the fridge. The third one down is 3 sharps. We have F sharp, blank, blank. Well, of course, you know that second one is always going to be C sharp. So you need to figure out what the third one would be. Dun, dun, dun. So go ahead and fill all those in. At the bottom of the page, we have the key signatures for you, and you fill in what the flats or sharps are. The first key is no flats or sharps because it's the key of C. It's all natural. The next one starts us down into the keys that are flat. 1 flat is the key of F, but 1 flat would have to be B flat. It does not matter if it's treble or bass clef. 2 flats, B flat and the other one. And again, it doesn't matter if it's treble or bass clef, use either one, they work the same exact way. And go on with the key of E flat and key of A flat. As we get towards the sharp keys, we have 1 sharp. That sharp, of course, is F sharp. It's the first one in the order of sharps. Back at the bottom, the key of D adds another sharp. We now have 2 sharps, regardless of clef. F sharp and blank. The key of A has 3 sharps, F sharp, blank, and blank. Go ahead and get those filled in. Quick tip, they're the same as up here. We're just showing it to you in actual key signature speak. So, rock this out as best you can. Make sure you fill in all the little gray boxes. Those are the required answers on the sheet. The final thing of the day is to tie this into the 6 scale sheet that you have. The cool thing about the 6 scales scale sheet is on the left side, you always have the flats or sharps marked next to the notes so that you don't have to think about a key signature. On the right side of each line, it's the exact same as the first 2 measures, or the left side, except we require you to actually use the key signature. So, on the first 2 measures of each line, feel free to mark in anything, slide positions, fingerings, note names, stickmen, whatever makes you happy. On the right side, you may not mark anything because that is where you practice the actual key signature. At the end of each line, the software puts these things in here. Ignore that stuff at the end of each line. It doesn't really matter. It's just setting up the next line's key signature for you, kind of helping you out with things you don't need. Also ignore that it says flute down the left side. That's something the software does as well. So, start tackling some scales. If you are new to a scale, I would just focus on the 5 note. If you can do a 5 note of a scale, I'd focus on all 8 notes of the scale. If you can play the entire scale, go down to the next one. If you can play all 6 of these scales, I would go on Google image search and type in the name of my instrument, followed by 12 major scales. And you can find 12 major scale sheets and start working on them through the same method. Have a wonderful day and happy practice.